Sunday, March 11th. We finished off the meat this morning. Stupid, really. We all know we're not getting any more. We all know we should have saved it, been sensible, used our brains. But our brains seem to have gone on strike. We're living like animals now, living on needs. Eat, drink, breathe, get through the day. Tomorrow? It's tomorrow. Today is tomorrow. Today the lift is empty. Tomorrow, too. Bird went crazy at Jenny this afternoon. She was in the kitchen, she told me, getting a drink of water. Bird came in, mumbling to himself and shielding his eyes from the light, and walked over to the far wall. He didn't seem to notice Jenny at first. He just stood there, looking at the wall for a while, then jerked his head and started waddling around the kitchen, swearing at things. Waddling? I said. Like this. Jenny showed me, walking around with her knees bent and her feet sticking out. Like a duck. A duck? Yeah, he was just walking around like that, and then he just stopped in the middle of the kitchen and looked at the floor. His eyes were all wide and starey. Then he started stamping his feet and going on about wasps, and then he stopped again and just stared. Wasps? I think so. It was a bit hard to understand what he was saying. He was talking all funny, like he had a wet mouth. I think it was wasps. What did you do? I went over and offered him a drink of water. He went mad, Linus, knocked the cup out of my hand and yelled at me, then pushed me away. Did he hurt you? No, he just pushed me. Then he waddled out. She's staying with me tonight. She told me a joke. This duck goes into the chemist's. It goes up to the makeup counter and says, "I'd like a tube of lipstick, please. And would you put it on my bill?" Duck equals 29. Wasp equals 30. The world keeps turning. Monday, March 12th. It's been a long day, full of cold and hunger. Everything is that much harder without food. Hunger is a slow and lowering thing. It creeps up on you. You lose strength, and you lose heart. And the cold saps your energy, saps your will to do anything. Not that I've much will left anyways. Whatever will is. Hope, determination, optimism, grit. Words. The cold gets into your bones and drains the life from your blood. It hurts. I've been cold before. I know what it's like. I've been cold and hungry before. I know what that's like. But knowing what something's like doesn't make it any easier. You just know what it's like. And besides, it's different down here. Down here, the cold is, I don't know. It's just different. Colder than cold. Underground cold. Everywhere. Unrelenting. Jenny can't stand it. It makes her cry. This morning we ripped up a Bible and lit a fire on the floor. Just a small one, nothing fancy, just a ragged pile of crumpled pages arranged in a circle. I lit it with Fred's cigarette lighter. Click, crackle, the magic of fire. The flames were just the beginning to flicker when the grill and the ceiling started to hiss, and a fine spray of water came raining down. Jenny shrieked and cowered against the wall, and I just sat there, soaking wet and freezing cold, watching the flames sputter and die. After a few minutes, the water stopped. The half-burned Bible pages were slopped in a puddle on the floor. I looked up at the grill. Water was dripping slowly from the mesh. Plip, 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 like tears from a metal eye. Murder beat in my heart. Later on, the noise started. That infernal racket he tortured us with before. The drums, the screeching, the wailing, shaking the walls, shaking our bones, making us weep and hold our heads and curl up in our beds like babies. It lasted a long time, but it's over now. A woman once told me how to deal with scary things. She was a psychiatrist or a psychotherapist or something. I don't know. Is there a difference? It doesn't matter. She was one of those whispery women, all calm and relaxing. Long skirt, pale face, pale lips. She wore a small polished stone on a piece of string around her neck, black and shiny, egg-shaped. I asked her what it was for. She said it helped to dissipate negative energy. Yeah, right, I thought. Negative energy, polished stone. That's going to work, isn't it? That's really going to help. Anyway, what she told me was, let me think, it was something to do with unresolved fears. Yeah, I remember. She said, imagine something that frightens you, Linus. Something that's going to happen. Say, a situation, something you're worried about. Can you do that for me? Yes. Good. Are you doing it now? Yes. Okay, now imagine that you can fly. Fly? Like a bird. Right. You can fly into the future. The future? You can do it, Linus. All you have to do is fly up in the air, fly into the future, and then look down and see yourself in the situation you're worried about. You're there, right now. You're in this situation. Do you understand? You're there. Are you there? Yeah, I lied. Good. Now, look down at yourself. You can see yourself. You're there. See? It's all right. You're coping. Do you see? It's not so bad, is it? I couldn't work out whether to nod or shake my head, so I did something in between. A kind of diagonal, side-to-side nod. It didn't make any difference. There was absolutely nothing in my mind anyways. Whispery woman carried on. Now, fly on a bit more. A bit further into the future, and imagine yourself when it's all over. You've been through this worrying situation, and now everything is all right. Look, you can see yourself. You're fine. You can feel yourself. Feel yourself, Linus. It feels okay, doesn't it? Good. Now, soak up that feeling. Soak it right up into your body and remember it. Remember how it feels. Now turn round and fly back to now. All the time keeping that good feeling inside you. Okay? Okay. She smiled. That's it. That's all you have to do, Linus. Look forward. See yourself feeling good. Soak it up and remember it. Remember the future. Remember how it feels. And it'll be all right. What if it's not? I said. Pardon? What if I look forward and it's not all right? What if I'm right to be worried? Ah, she smiled reassuringly. But it will be all right. You have to make it right. But, look, let me go over it again. I give up in the end, stopped listening, tuned out. Yeah, right, yeah, I see, okay, great. And that was that. I don't know what time it is now. Probably about 10 or 11 at night. To tell you the truth, I'm too scared to go outside and look at the clock. There's a lot of bad stuff going on. Jenny is with me, and we've got the chair jammed up against the door. Bird's been at it all night. Screaming, swearing, stomping about, jabbering away like a lunatic. I saw him earlier on, about an hour after he'd gone loopy with Jenny. I was heading down the corridor towards the bathroom, and he was just standing in his doorway, watching my every step. His face was a horrible shade of red, almost purple, and his skin was stretched as tight as a drum. Linus, he drawled, his voice all slurred. Hey, Linus, wanna see this? He grinned, a horror grin, and tugged violently at the open wound on his neck. His fingers bloodied. He licked at them, jabbed a crooked finger at me, and started chanting. Linus, 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 Linus. I walked away, my heart beating hard. Fred came to see us later. Stay in here, he said. Keep the chair against the door. Bird's having a whack attack. It's the dog bite, I said. He's got blood poisoning or something. Yeah, I know. Just stay in here, okay? He's been reading that stupid note. You know, the killing note? He just keeps reading it over and over again. I don't think he'll actually do anything, but you never know. What about you? Me? Fred grinned. You don't have to worry about me. I'm invincible. Where's Russell? Barricaded in his room. Anya? Fred shook his head. She keeps trying to talk to Bird. She thinks she can reason with him. I told her it wasn't safe, but she wouldn't listen. You know what she's like. An image of Anya suddenly flashed into my mind. The Anya of 6 weeks ago. A confident-looking woman, dressed in a sheer white top, Short black skirt, tights into high heels. Late 20s, well-spoken, honey blonde hair, fine nose, sculpted mouth, perfect teeth, silver necklace. It was a far cry from the Anya of today. Skinny, wretched, shabby and dirty, holed up in a stinking white room. The trouble with people like Anya is they have no sense of danger. They don't know what fear is. They spend all their lives cocooned in comfort, and the only fears they've ever known are the small ones. Worries, anxieties, trifles. Anya has probably never had to be afraid before. Not really afraid. And if you don't know how to be afraid, you're in trouble. Fear serves a purpose. It's not just for watching spooky films or riding roller coasters. It's there for a reason. It keeps us alive. It's getting on for midnight now. Fred's gone. Jenny's asleep. I'm sitting against the wall, listening to the expectant silence and wondering what's going to happen. I know something's going to happen. I can feel it in the air. It's just a matter of what and when. It's quiet outside. The silence hums. It's going to be a long night.